Yeah, thank you. So as you're aware, we'll be recording this session for those that may not have been able to join so that they can be able to review and see what we have covered tonight. But yes, once again, my name is Levix Dudi, representing DataBuild Africa. Glad to have you guys here. Thank you for sparing time so that we have, this session tonight. Tonight, we just want to go through and look at what DataBuild Africa does, and of course, look at the various courses, look at what they entail, the various skill sets that you need to have, how you can position yourself as a professional, especially within technology, because we major in technology. And of course, we'll also be able to give time to the rest of us to be able to share what they would like to share and maybe ask questions and that kind of thing. I know it's Friday, so watu wako sherehe, people are in parties perhaps, or people are just relaxing because it's been a long week. But I'm glad you guys have joined. So we proceed. So DataBuild Africa is a tech firm. I hope you guys can see my screen. We are a tech firm running in two divisions. The first division is called, cybersecurity and enterprise technology. That is a B2B unit of our business where we offer solutions to other organizations. These solutions are majorly cybersecurity solutions. So cybersecurity is end to end from the network to the applications, to the cloud infrastructure, to the users, to the endpoints, and the likes. So we give end-to-end cybersecurity solutions in that particular division. And of course, I'm sure all of us here have at least had some conversations around cybersecurity and all those kind of things. But even before I continue, maybe we can so that there's no monopoly. I wouldn't want to be speaking alone. Job, you can mute a bit. Uh, Okay, let me just mute. Okay. Yeah, so maybe before I take a whole time to talk, I know I've introduced myself, but I was just getting into the products and our training services. Maybe we can let one or two people, just maybe a lady and a gentleman, just say hi and maybe just say hi, greet us, how your day has probably been and that kind of thing. Just randomly for a minute, for half a minute. You're free to unmute, or maybe I can pick randomly. Maybe Patience, you can go first, perhaps. Just say hi so that I don't want to be the only one on the mic.
Okay. I'm Patience. What was the other question?
I'll just say your name and perhaps how your day has been and maybe what you're looking forward to.
Oh, okay. I'm Patience. My day has been very long, and I'm stuck in traffic. And what I'm expecting, I I like AI and data science, so I'm like just wanted to figure out what I want to do later. Yeah, right.
All right. Thank you so much. Looking forward to sharing more with you. Maybe a gentleman can probably go next. Somebody so that we don't waste time. Maybe I'll just pick them. Gabriel, how are you doing? Data engineer. She's here. Ama wanaume wanawea kidogo. All right,
Uh,
that's fine. Okay, go ahead.
I'm Gabriel Omondi. My day has been fine. Yeah, I'm just looking to learn more and get to know more about cybersecurity. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much for joining. And thanks to the rest of us for joining. Um, So as I was saying, my name is Levix Dudi, and Data Africa is a tech firm. We're running in two divisions. The first one is, cybersecurity and enterprise tech, where we offer solutions to other businesses. That's a B2B unit. So these solutions are majorly around cybersecurity and ICT infrastructure. So cybersecurity is end to end. For those who are interested in cybersecurity, like the gentleman who has just spoken, so cybersecurity is end to end in terms of our solutions from your endpoint to the users, to the application, to your network, to your cloud infrastructure, and the perimeter. We offer end-to-end cybersecurity solutions. And of course, infrastructure now, maybe let me see if I can just pick up that bit. Infrastructure now, of course, ranges from your data center to your network and all that whole ecosystem. So that is the first division of our business. Some of our consumers are, of course, banking sector, the insurance bits, the hospitals, government entities. Those are some of the consumers in terms of our enterprise IT solutions. Then the other bit, of course, I know we'll get much deeper into the cybersecurity bit when we get back into the cybersecurity course. But also now the second division of our business, which I believe is why most of us are here, is the DB Academy, which does or takes care of matters training and certification. So I don't know why I keep losing my. So this division takes care of can you hear me still, or did you lose me?
We,
Yes, we
we
can
can
hear.
hear you.
Okay, okay. All right, thank you. So DB Academy does matters training and certification on technology subjects. These subjects range from artificial intelligence, AI, data science, analytics, and business intelligence. Then, of course, cybersecurity and other forms of emerging technology. So we major in those areas. We are purely in technology, and even the solutions we offer are purely in technology. And of course, the trainings we offer are also purely in technology. So the advantage we have as a company is that we have those two units. So one supports the other, and the other supports the other. So when you get into learning, for instance, cybersecurity, you understand that even our curriculum would definitely be designed to reflect what is happening in the industries. All right, being that we deploy solutions, we deploy cybersecurity tools to these companies, we know exactly, even in terms of skill set, what is required and what a good professional would ideally have. So we've designed our curriculums, of course, to reflect that kind of picture, just to be able to mirror the industry so that by the end of the day, as you graduate out of our programs, you are industry aligned or you're ready to be able to solve problems here and there. So before I get back into that, some of our partners, of course, are within the private sector and, of course, public sector. Public sector would be entities like ICT Authority, Ministry of ICT, Ministry of Education, some public, institutions here and there, some universities, some of them you may know. And of course, in the private sector, we also have some SACCOs, we have some banks and hospitals that we work together with. And even beyond that, we also have other companies that we partner with to be able to offer some of our services, including ATC Digital, that trains us on matters soft skills, which I'll get back into much later. Yeah, so that's in a nutshell what Data Africa does in terms of our units and in terms of our solution offerings. So I just want to give you a broader picture so that as you get into the finer details of the programs, at least you know where you lie and you know what exactly you are looking at. So we looked at the application forms and the feedback we got from you guys. A lot of us are looking at doing matters data, doing matters AI, and matters cybersecurity. There was quite a balance in between those disciplines. And of course, as Data Africa, those are the areas we specialize in. Those are the areas we know we do best in terms of training you and upskilling you. So we train you as an individual, of course, and of course we train corporates. So, all that kind of approach. So maybe I'll just take you through some of our main courses. Just let's look at them on a high level first. We look at what, for example, those courses entail. what do you expect in our program? Because definitely before you sign up for a program, you definitely need to be able to know that this program is designed in a manner that is going to help me, is designed in a manner that will give me the skills that I will need at the job place, so that when I get a job, for example, I'm not having to be retrained. I'm not having to pressurize my employer to retrain me on some of these things. Of course, learning is continuous and you'll still be able to learn even within that customer environment. But of course, you need to have the master skills, the main skills that you can be able to deliver on. You can be able to use to deliver on your duties. So the first course I'll look at in terms of what it entails is the data science analytics. I hope you can still see my screen. Or it dropped?
No.
No, okay. Let me just reshare. Is it visible now?
Yes.
Yeah. So this is our course outline for the data science, analytics, business intelligence, and soft skills course. It's a very elaborate program that runs for 6 months, covering quite a number of tools in terms of making you technically able. So those tools range from Microsoft Excel, which is a spreadsheet. Of course, we have various spreadsheets across the market, including Microsoft Excel, Google Sheets, and a couple of others. They're close to 15 to 20 that are notable within the market, but of course, there may be more in terms of being available. So Excel is the spreadsheet that we focus on. A lot of us are familiar with it because it's a Microsoft product. So many of us consume Microsoft products at the end of the day, be it at your workplace, be it at your school, or be it, in your businesses. So in one way or the other, you may have interacted with Excel, Microsoft Excel as a spreadsheet. And of course, that is what we focus on for our data science, analytics, and business intelligence course, aside from the Google spreadsheets, which is the alternative. It's a good one, of course. Then the other tool you look at technically in terms of data science and this program is a structured query language. This is, and even before I go back to that, sorry. Of course, Excel, let me just go back to that so that I don't mix them up. Excel is a very important tool. A lot of us, quote unquote, use it as a database. But of course, this is a tool that we can be able to use it to do a lot of things in terms of performing analysis, in terms of visualizing our reports and data, in terms of communicating our insights and all that kind of thing. It's a very powerful tool that has been there for quite some time, and a lot of us are conversant with some of the things. So that is one of the tools we look at extensively from a beginner level to an advanced level. And of course, we are able to, give you the skills that you need to be able to maneuver through that tool efficiently. Then the next one, as I had already started, is the structured query language SQL, which is a database tool. So this one enables you to be able to query databases, work with databases. A lot of companies store their data in databases, and they would require you as a data scientist, as a data analyst, or as a data engineer, and even by extension as a business intelligence professional, to be able to work with these databases to get information, query them, know what's going on, give them reports, analyze, and do all these kind of duties around your role. So it's a very important tool, one of the most important tools actually within the tech space, and particularly within the data and cybersecurity ecosystem. It's a tool that a cybersecurity professional would use, a data engineer would use, a data scientist would use, a data analyst would use, and even a couple of other professionals would use it because it cuts across. It's also like the beginning of programming, something like that. So it's a very key tool which we cover extensively, and I know we'll go back into, we'll get into it in details. So those are just some of the things we have on it. Let me just see if I can cross over to it very fast. So you can see here, SQL for data analytics and data science. We'll be definitely looking at introduction to database and SQL basics. We look at relational database concepts. We look at tables. We look at key data types and the likes. Then we look at how can you create tables in SQL? How can you insert more data in those tables within those databases? Then, of course, there's a sample exercise there. We look at queries and how we can be able to filter, our data select functions, distinct, where, between, order by, and the likes. Then after that, we're getting into aggregations and grouping. These are the various usabilities of being able to do things summatively. Look at the functions like count, sum, average, minimum, max, and the likes. All these, we cover them extensively in this program. I'm moving quite fast so that we don't spend a lot of time here. I know it's Friday. Then after that, of course, we have the joins and relationships. So these are the ones that are able to give you the correlation between this data set and the other data set, or this piece of data and this other piece of data. You're able to join in your data set, you're able to bring in the correlation between them and explain what exactly is going on in between. Then the subqueries and CTEs, which you can see there, is also another very important bit. Then, of course, as I mentioned, our programs are practical and project-based. The projects are actually real world, so of course they mirror the industries, they mirror what is going on in the various sectors of business, be it in the banks, be it in the hospitals, be it in government, and so on. Then the other bit would be, problem solving and critical thinking. I think this is part of now, how can you be a problem solver? Because as an employee or as a business owner, you're always looking at solving a problem. That's why you exist. So then what are some of the skills that you require to be able to be that person who can overcome problems within the technical spaces? Then, of course, our data science, analytics, and BI program has Python for it, to be able to help you with advanced kind of functionalities, including, of course, it has basics of programming. It has the variables here. There is hands-on, of course, that is a hands-on exercise that we would be covering. And it also has the IDE, the various subunits of the language. Then after that, we have NumPy and Pandas that we focus on those two in this particular unit, so that you're able to get exactly what you need to know. Then after that, we have moving quite fast. How can we use pandas for data cleaning? Of course, you remember we covered already Excel and we covered also SQL. Both those tools, you could use them for data cleaning. But in the cases that you have very heavy data sets, or you have a lot of work to do that require you to have a powerful tool, then that is where now Python comes in. And Python is a very, can I call it diverse? It's a very diverse open-ended tool that is used in a lot of places and for a lot of functionalities, including in data, in cybersecurity, in web design, and all these other functions within IT. So it's one of also the very important tools that you wouldn't want to miss out on, because it gives you that upper hand to be able to do excellently, to perform your tasks excellently. And on top of that, you have the flexibility to jump into a few things here and there. If you feel like data science is now smaller for you, you can also explore data engineering, because data engineers still use Python for their duties. If you feel like data analytics is, this one, that way you can still use the Python to explore whether to get into data science and machine learning. Then after that, of course, we have data transformation. We're still on the data science course outline. We have data transformation and feature engineering. So those are some of the things we cover, including filtering and sorting and sorting. Then, of course, your grouping and aggregation functions, how to create new features and the likes. Then exploratory EDA, that is exploratory data analysis. These are some of the things we look at in details. Then, of course, how will you visualize your data with Python? How are you able to communicate whatever findings you've gotten to the people who are non-technical? Of course, remember, you're always working with both technical and non-technical people. So your bosses, for example, they may not be versed with technological languages. So how do you want to showcase or share with them what you do in a manner that is understandable to them, in a manner that they can digest and they can make sense of it? So that is where visualization and context reporting comes in. So Python is able to help you with that in terms of visualization, to showcase what you're doing in a very visually appealing way and also in a very organized way, to be able to help your both your technical colleagues and even your non-technical colleagues. Bosses would usually not have a lot of time to go through reports. They don't want to see a lot of sheets here and there, a lot of huge reports. They don't have the time to go through them. So visualization will usually summarize. It says this is the trend. It looks like this week or last week, we've not had a lot of people coming into maybe our business. The number of inquiries has gone down, or maybe the account side is looks like we are not banking as much. So what exactly is the problem? So the visuals will just by a few seconds give him or her an impression of what is going on. Then of course they can be able to dig deeper with your guidance from your report. After that, we have inferential statistics, which is very important. Statistics is still part and parcel of data science, analytics, business intelligence, because it helps you to debug the math and all these kind of things. You're able to relate all these areas. So it's still something we focus on in there very deeply. Then after that, we have hypothesis testing and correlation. You can see there Python and SQL integration, how you're able to integrate these particular tools. And of course, even on SQL, we have various, options. The various companies have their various options as to what you could use. Microsoft has theirs, other companies have theirs, Oracle and the likes. Then Python Analytics, that's a project. Of course, just to ensure that you are we're still focused on project-based learning. We want to ensure that by the end of the program, you have projects to be able to have in your portfolio. And even in the program, we also help you set up your portfolio. Portfolio is basically like your digital or online CV. It's somewhere that you can drop your projects, the projects you've done. You can you can be able to share with people what exactly you've been able to achieve over a period of time, give them the steps, give them the reports, um, you know, show to them how you have arrived at that particular, finding and the likes. That is what a portfolio act basically is. And in our program, we will be able to help you, come up with that. It's somewhere within the course outline. I think we'll come across it. So there's all that. Python, I don't want to take a lot of time on that. Then still within the data science and analytics bit, there's introduction to machine learning. So machine learning, as you understand, is one of the bases of uh, artificial intelligence. This machine learning is basically enabling a device or somebody to be able to learn the environment, or to learn the movements, to learn the behavior and that kind of thing. That is ideally what machine learning is. So if you look at, let's for example say the cybersecurity sector, which we'll get back into later. Entities like if you go to these banks, these key banks you'll find around, they have cybersecurity tools that utilize machine learning concepts in them. The reason behind that is for the machine learning together with AI to be able to understand the environment so that they get to a point that they can predict what is likely to happen tomorrow. So if you know that my bank network is usually, for example, accessed by people from around this region, or this kind of devices are the ones that normally access, or these are the people who are typically allowed, then based on that information of machine learning, having learned the environment and the machines and the devices, it is able to come up with predictions and solutions. So if something unusual tries to happen, then it is able to counter. It is able to give alerts and say, um, somebody from Pakistan seems to be accessing one of our, devices, or one of our data center, devices. Is it usual? Is it unusual? Then, all that. And then, of course, remediation comes after based on the level or the intensity of the risk. So there's all that machine learning that we look at. We look at it from the basis of it to a great extent to be able to put you in a position that you can actually be productive in your career. So there's a whole lot of that. I'll share this link with you later. Of course, there's unsupervised learning, which is still part and parcel of the program. Then all that. These, I believe, here are networking and career growth. As I mentioned earlier, we also have integrated what we call soft skills into our programs. So as much as we are training you to be a technically fit person, We're also ensuring that you have the capacity to be able to maneuver industries. You have the capacity to be able to do your things efficiently. You have the capacity to network and get opportunities, keep those opportunities, renew them, and so on, because that is what is important. As much as you may be a very good data scientist or an AI engineer, for example, you still need the skills that would help you work around with people, would help you get opportunities and keep them, and all that kind of thing. I don't know if somebody has raised his hand. Somebody has raised their hand. There's a question. All right, fine. Uh, That's fine. So that is part of what the data science, analytics, and business intelligence, this program here entails. For those that have just joined or a few minutes ago, we were already covering what the data science, analytics, BI, and soft skills program looks like. And we've covered already some of the bits, but we may get back to them briefly just to highlight. So I was already at that point, networking and career growth, soft skills, these are the things that are able to help you, you know, um, get opportunities here and there, because you don't just want to be trained and then you're dumped there without solutions. Then after you've been trained, what next? How do you get gigs? How do you get jobs? How do you develop a business using the skills that you have learned? That is the reason why we actually have soft skills and career growth as part of our programs. And actually, all our programs that are more than a month in period have those units embedded in them. Then the next tool is now Power BI. So remember, we've covered Excel, we've covered SQL, we've covered Python. That is in the data science, analytics, business intelligence program. So we've covered Excel, SQL, Python, and now we are in Power BI. Power BI is a business intelligence tool. It is the alternative of the other tool called Tableau, which is also another very powerful tool. Power BI is a Microsoft product, so it helps us to communicate what we're doing in business terms. It's also, some people say it's like an advanced Excel for those who've interacted with it or even with Excel. It has broader capacities, it is faster, it has much more capabilities in terms of what it does. It has a lot of options in terms of being able to try this and try that. It's still a very good tool that we cover. So we look at data loading, how you're able to load data into Power BI so that you're able to do whatever duties you need to do within that. Then, of course, we look at the Power BI desktop. So Power BI can be the online version or the browser version, or you can also download it as an application on your desktop. So we look at the interface on the desktop and even on the the browser versions. Then we look at how you can connect it to Excel, SQL, and Python. So remember, you have the other tools. As a data scientist, you're probably using one, two, or three, or even more tools. So typically, you'd use Excel, you'd use SQL, you'd use Python. Depends on your role and depends on the customer environment or your employer's environment. So you'd want to integrate these tools. You want to bring together Excel, the spreadsheet, bring together SQL, the database language, bring together Python, the programming language. So we want to be able to integrate these so that you're able to work together with Power BI, which is the business intelligence tool or the BI tool. So how will you be able to do that? That is one of the things we look at. Then, of course, that comes with loading the data sets that can be able to work hand in hand with these tools or these areas that we've integrated. Then after that, we look at Power Query. I'm sure some of you may have heard about it. Power Query is also another very important concept in this course. We look at how you're going to be able to clean and transform your data. You're going to remove errors, duplicates, split, merge, and all those other functionalities. I don't know if I'm moving so fast. Anybody has a question so far? We have not so much time. That's why I'm trying to just cover quickly. But I'm open to answering your questions if anybody has a question. Feel free to unmute and speak if somebody has a question. Then you can also type on the chats so that if there is any question, I'll be able to answer them. Then after that, we have what we call data modeling. We look at fact and dimension tables, the schemas, the relationships, and the likes. We have DAX, that is data analysis expressions. We look at the measures and versus calculated column, sum, count, and all that. Those are the functions. We'll also go into intermediate DAX and time intelligence. You'll look at those functionalities in there. Um, Soon after that, you get into what we call visualization and interactivity. So this is where now, remember we are still in Power BI, which is the business intelligence tool. Power BI, a lot of people use it actually for, visualization. It has very good visualization outcomes most of the times, especially if you perform your tasks and the functions well. It brings you very good visualization results that are able to communicate what you're doing in a very, good way. So we look at the charts, the slicers, the drill through, conditional formatting, and we'll also work on an interactive report. So when we get into the program, we'll get into to see what interactive reports basically are. Then after that, we'll get into advanced visualization and storytelling. We look at how to bookmark, we look at the tooltips, look at design, what are the best practices, and of course, we'll design a story dashboard. That's a hands-on exercise that we'll have. And if you're keen, you'll see that all the units or all the subunits have something that is hands-on. We don't just want to give you the theories. We are running away from theories. It's not our thing as Database Africa. So we want to ensure that everything you're doing is hands-on. At least every unit or every subunit, you have something practical to work around or to practice on so that you can remember and you can showcase that I actually worked on this and this is the result. And also, here are the processes. This is how I arrived at these various results. I think I've skipped a few things there because of time, but that is advanced visualization and storytelling, or this Power BI service and publishing. How do you publish your work so that you're able to collaborate with other people? We look at workspaces and dashboards, we look at sharing and refreshing. After you've done your analysis, as a data scientist or as a data analyst, as a data engineer, or whatever it is you're doing, as a business intelligence person, you want to share these insights or these findings with another person. So how do you do that? How do you extract this data? How do you allow people securely to access this data? Then, of course, we look at security and governance. We look at RLS, that is role level security. They look at dataset permissions and all that. So remember, for a company, you would not want to give access to all data to everyone. There's some things which are only supposed to be shared with so and so within the company, and that those that cannot be shared with so and so within the company. So we look at how can you actually manage that. How can you manage that bit of your job so that you secure company data and you also secure the company's reputation. That is very important, and we look at them in details. The other session, we look at CV building and professional storytelling. So here we're back to the soft skills and career positioning. Remember, we have integrated them into the program. So it is not like a separate thing. We've been able to integrate them so that they go hand in hand. You learn this, so that at the end of the day, you have something that is, you come out as a person who is all-rounded and with these mixed and aligned kind of skill sets. So we look at how you can build your CV and professional storytelling. I don't know if Janet is around, probably. Janet, you're there? Probably she's dropped. Janet, no, she's not around. So Janet is the one who takes us through these soft skills and career positioning. Janet Machuka, for those of you who may know her. She trains us on these bits, how you're able to position yourself, brand yourself as a professional. Look, how do you trace opportunities, and how do you package yourself as somebody who is valuable at the end of the day. There's all that. I'll not get deeper into it. Then now, still within the data science, analytics, and BI program, we'll take you through artificial intelligence. AI is here, of course, and we cannot ignore it. So we'll even look at how can we integrate AI into our data science, data analytics, and business intelligence functions so that you're not left behind. You need to automate some of your processes. You need to use intelligent tools to be able to work faster, smarter, and better. And then, of course, save on time, save on cost, and that kind of thing. That's why we have AI integrated into our programs. Remember, we had already talked about machine learning a little earlier, and it still extends here. So there's AI. We look at comparisons of AI against machine learning, against generative AI and other forms. We look at some of the tools, as some of the applications, as ChatGPT, for example. How can you use it for Excel, SQL, and even Python? We look at all that to be able to be better professionals. We also look at how AI-assisted analysis can be performed. I'll not get into that. It will take a lot of time. So there's all that. You can see what that bit entails. Ethics and responsible use. We'll also get into that. Of course, you have to ensure that at the end of the day, you keep the laws, or you keep other people's respected, and you don't infringe into their data, you don't expose them badly, or you don't just invade their privacy, or you don't bully them, whatever we may want to describe it as. Then definitely after that, we have a capstone project. So a capstone project is remember we had projects for all the units, but to top it up, we have a capstone project that pretty much reflects the larger program. It takes you through, you know, it covers the concepts that we've covered. If it is, for example, the Excel that we started with, it has concepts about Excel. If it is the concepts we covered in SQL, structured query language, it has those bits. If it is on Python, the capstone project covers them. If it is on Power BI, the business intelligence tool, Power BI has it. If it is on artificial intelligence and machine learning, the capstone project has it. So this is basically meant to summarize your learning so that you have something that puts together everything you learned. You look at whether you can be able to work these processes step by step. You can work from the point of collecting data to cleaning this data, to analyzing it, to reporting it, to doing the visualization, and all these kind of automation things. So we're looking at something that is 360 in terms of operations. All right. So that capstone project is one that, of course, you will be happy to add to your portfolio because it is also guided and it is practical. You can actually have it on your portfolio and showcase it even to, if it's a good project and you've come out with it well, you can showcase it to your potential employers and even partners. It would form part of the things that you have done as somebody who is starting off in data science, analytics, and business intelligence. So yeah, it has all those. I wouldn't want to get further. So that is, in a nutshell, what the data science, analytics, business intelligence program looks like. It's very elaborate, as you can see. It covers quite a lot. It lasts for 6 months. And these are the tools you can see, of course, that it covers. Yeah, so before I go into maybe the next program quickly because of time, anybody with a question so far or something they want clarity on? Regarding this program, yeah, data science, analytics, and the business intelligence. Okay. And if you have a question, feel free. Because of time, you can be able to drop on the chats. I'll be able to read. Let me just go through another course quickly so that we can have time maybe to answer questions, maybe all at once. So remember, we also have a program called data engineering. Data engineers are people who work with data, also data pipelines and development and sustenance and all that. They're the ones who basically, they're very important people in an organization. They're the ones who manage your data. They ensure that everything is okay. The pipelines are all good and things run smoothly, usually working on the background. So we have a very elaborate program as well. I wouldn't want to go into it, but this is something I can be able to share for those that are interested in data engineering. It's also a very highly demanded skill. If you're able to do data engineering, you can be able to do more. And companies right now are getting into a point where they need data engineers, they need data scientists, and the likes. The reason is organizations have realized that they have so much data that they've collected over the months, over the weeks, over the years, but they are not using these sets of data. They want to use this data now to be able to inform their business decisions. They want to use this data to be able to make better decisions, what we call data-driven decisions, that can actually be explained. You can predict and tell that this is what is likely to happen, or this you can explain also this is what has been happening, and therefore this is likely to happen. And so, as a business, how can we precaution ourselves? How can we stay on the safe side in terms of operations, in terms of business, in terms of transactions, um, and so on? So data engineering is also one of those programs that you'd want to look at. It's very intensive, it's very practical based and industry aligned. You can look at what it looks like. So we'll give you the foundations. We look at what it is. We look at comparison of that role against other related data professions like data analysis, data science, and the likes. We look at the modern data stack flow, stack overview. We look at data lifecycle and architecture fundamentals. What exactly happens through that lifecycle, like from this point, or that I'm collecting this data to the point that I'm perhaps doing the cleaning, to the point I'm analyzing the data, to the point of visualizing it, and to the point of reporting and even storing and sharing, all those. So we look at all that life cycle, how everything, goes on. So there's that, batch streaming, there's OLTP, there's OLAP and all those. We look at relational databases, which is also covered in the other data science analytics program. Then, of course, we look at practical, uh, sorry, we look at practical exercises, look at, all those. How do you install and configure databases? How do you create tables and insert records? Because remember, as a data engineer, you are constantly working with databases. So how do you install them? And how do you create tables? Tables are the ones that store the information. So how do you create them? And how do you insert more information and records into those, databases? Of course, you look at SQL. As I mentioned earlier, SQL is another very important tool which cuts across. Remember, now you can see you're still finding it in this bit. Then now there's a whole SQL bit there, which I'll not get into. Then there's data modeling. We look at normalization principles. We look at dimensional modeling. We look at the star schema and the likes, snowflake schema, and all those bits. Then, of course, we have projects. We are always important. We always hold it important to have projects because these are the practical things that help you with being able to relate whatever you're taught to the real use cases. You're able to translate whatever you're taught to the application bit of it now, so that when a company gives you a job, you actually have the capacity to do what you're required to do. I hope I'm not going so fast. Somebody confirm if I'm too speedy. For those, can you guys hear me well?
We can hear
Hello?
you.
Yes,
You can hear me well now. Nenda speed sana.
uko sawa.
All right, so thank you. So there is that. Um, all right, thank you, Brian Michelle. So there's data modeling I've gone through briefly. There's projects. Then, of course, there's Python. We're still looking at it here for data engineering. We'll look at Python and databases, the DBs. We look at engineering best practices. It's also another very extensive program here. We look at the ETL versus ELT, the architectures. We look at designing pipeline workflows, um, data validation frameworks, all those bits. Then, of course, there's a project. Then we look at workflow automation, rather workflow orchestration, introduction to Apache Airflow. We look at DAG design, scheduling and automation, monitoring and logging, and all those bits. It's another very elaborate program. Then definitely there's a project. So you can see we have quite a number of projects that you work on. There's big data processing. I think a lot of us may have heard about big data, all over big data. So we look at all that. How do we manage them? Real-time data engineering. I'm just moving speedily. Then we look at cloud data engineering, AWS, and the likes. We look at DevOps for data engineering. Then we have a capstone project, more or less what we had on the other side. Capstone is now summarizing the other project that we've had, so that you're able to actually make use of all the skills that you've gained throughout the course. All right, so there's that. Yeah, so that is the data engineering program. I've gone through it very quickly, but I'll share this if you need, so that you explore it further. Then now to the other bit, probably the last one, in terms of course outline examination, is cybersecurity and ethical hacking. Somebody asked about cybersecurity earlier, and I think from the data we had is that a lot of us are also interested in cybersecurity and ethical hacking. These are one of the highest growing professional fields right now. The reason is because the cybersecurity threat landscape keeps on increasing day by day. Cyber criminals are growing every day, and they are constantly looking for data. They're constantly looking to access organizational systems and applications and networks. So every day there's somebody working behind something to be able to steal or to do whatever it is they want to do. Those are the people those are the cyber criminals, ideally. So cybersecurity then, a cybersecurity professional is somebody who helps an organization to stay secure their platforms, secure their applications, the mobile applications, the web applications, secure their network, secure the users, the people who are there. How do you ensure that they don't compromise the company? Secure data. How is your data secure at the end of the day? Because that is what matters. So you can imagine a case where a bank, of course, we have banks around. So imagine a case where the bank data sets or databases can just be accessed anyhow. People will just go in and see what goes on there and steal and, you know, get the information, put it out there and um, erode the images that these entities have. So cybersecurity professionals are basically very important. And looking at where we are today as a continent, as a country, as a globe, we have a lot of cyber criminal activities going on, and therefore we need people to be able to help with preventing that. That's why we have a very industry-aligned curriculum in terms of cybersecurity. So remember, we have another unit called Cybersecurity and Enterprise Technology, which offers cybersecurity solutions to other organizations. So that gives you the impression or the picture that before we design our curriculum, like what I have in front of me here, we already know what gaps are in the market, what gaps exist, which bits are pinching these organizations, where do they want to be in the next couple of months, in the next couple of years? What challenges do they have? You know? So this is what it looks like. Of course, there's onboarding. We look at what cybersecurity is. CIA triad, we look at the threat landscape that I've just talked about. The threat landscape is basically, I'd call it the general environment, the threat landscape. It is the various happenings. So you find that cyber criminals have accessed, I think recently we've had also quite a number of cases, accessing maybe government systems. They want to get in there and see what's going on. They're accessing financial institutions, their infrastructure. They want to intrude and do their whatever they want to do. So that is basically the threat landscape. The threat landscape is it's just a description of the environment of where these things are actually occurring, the threat landscape. So this threat landscape keeps on growing. It grows because cyber criminals are even using artificial intelligence tools to be able to perform their malicious activities. All right. So banks, hospitals, government entities, educational organizations, NGOs, they get at a higher risk every other day um, because cyber criminals are constantly trying to deploy very simple and very efficient tools or means to be able to attack them. All right. So we look at all that. We look at security domains. We look at enterprise security architecture. So enterprise security architecture, when you go into an insurance organization, for example, you go to, let's say, maybe Jubilee Insurance, you go into APA, Britam, whichever, or go into the banks, or go into some of these major institutions. So there's a picture we have, they have systems already that some of them are developed to a certain level. So then we need to ensure that when you get out of this program, you are able to work within those environments. You're able to respond to their problems as a big entity. So whether you get a job with a small entity or a big entity, you have the capacity to be able to be valuable. All right. So there's all that. Then we look at something called GRC, very important, governance, risk, and compliance. Then after that, we look at, of course, we have labs and all that. Then we look at networking and network and together with the perimeter security. So we look at the core network, we look at all those bits. We look at the perimeter and the security. We look at things like firewalls. Firewalls are some of the most basic security tools we have today. Basically secures, it's not basic per se, but it's one of those important tools that an entity would not want to fail to have. All right, reason is it monitors access into your organization, the systems, the network, and the likes, so that entry into those systems are actually monitored. That is what basically firewall. Firewall is like a gate. So before you get into the gate, of course, if you leave it open, if you deploy policies that are not relevant, then now you leave your organization in a very cumbersome position. But of course, if you deploy the right policies and you deploy the right firewall solution, then you get to a point where you have the capacity to put at bay the cyber criminals. So this is one of the very important tools we'll be looking at. We'll also look at intrusion detection and prevention systems, IDS and IPS. We'll look at network segmentation. How can you segment your network for better security? Then we look at, of course, DMZ. We look at introduction to NAC. Network access control, for those of us who work in organizations, this is one of the tools you use to monitor access into your network ecosystem. So remember, I don't work for your organization. I don't have the authority to access your network to be able to see what goes on in there, right? So network access control NAC is the tool, this one here that I've underlined or I've highlighted, is a tool that is able, it is an identity and access management tool. It falls under identity and access management tool that manages access into various systems and networks, right? So, of course, we have various network access control tools. Most of you may have heard about Cisco, for example. They have a network access control tool. You may have heard about Fortinet. They have a tool. You may have heard about, there are quite a number in terms of vendor. So all those tools, some of them, they do pretty much the same thing, but of course, from company to company, they have variations, here and there. So there's all that. There are quite a number in terms of availability, and we also distribute some of them across the market. There's a first lab, then we look at also identity and access as well as authentication security. We look at how to authenticate versus authorize. We look at identity and access management, EAM. So we have all that. We have RBAC, which is role-based access. We have privileged access management. We have MFA, multi-factor authentication. We have AD management. We have ZTNA, that is zero trust network access or zero trust generally. So there's all this in terms of identity and access. So what these tools do is that they manage access into various systems and applications and networks based on your identity. So because I don't work for, let's say, Nairobi Hospital, I don't have access into their databases, or I don't have access into their network infrastructure, or I don't have access into their internal applications, right? I don't have access into their ERP, the uh, enterprise resources. I don't have access to them because I don't work for them. I don't have the authorization. So these tools here, which we will train you on as part of our cybersecurity program, will ensure that you know how to manage people or devices wanting to get into systems and applications of organization. So if you work in an organization, what you'd want to do is to ensure that only those who are allowed get access into those particular systems. So you look at authentication and authorization. So you have to authenticate that, oh yes, I'm Levick Studi, this is my employment number perhaps, this is my DB access number perhaps, or this is my fingerprint, or this is my what and what, so that I can be able to access. This is what I do in this organization, and I'm allowed to access these resources up to this certain level. So that is what authentication and authorization does. So once you've been able to identify yourself and you've showcased that I'm so and so, and I need to get into this bit, then now you are authorized. All right, that is how it comes about. Then identity and access management I've talked about up here is pretty much the same thing. So they just work in a little different way, but they just manage access based on identity, and they give you access based on what you do. Role-based access doing the same thing. It gives you access based on your role. Privilege access management, that gives you access based on the privileges you have. Then MFA, some of us are familiar with them, on top of 2FA. So this is multi-factor authentication. You're using um, various walls so that you're able to get access, prove yourself. I think some of us use even MFAs, even on our phones and that kind of thing. Then AD management, we look at it. How can you secure your AD? That is the Active Directory. Then zero trust. Zero trust basically means that you do not trust anybody or any system or any device until you verify that this is Levik's Dudi, or you verify that this is Lillian Nageri, or this is Edward Santos Ochieng and is allowed to get into these systems, or this is Henry Cowie. So that is what zero trust means. It means you're not being trusted until you are verified. So if you come, you are at the gate, then you knock there. Before the soldier opens up for you, he first of all assumes that this is a criminal. Um, so I'm not going to open for them until I verify that they are so and so and they are actually supposed to be getting in here, right? Or they are authorized to get in here. That is what zero trust actually means in a layman's language, in a very simple language, that you trust no one until you verify. Zero trust, zero trust. Then now we have lab, of course, then risk management and compliance, that is the GRC, which is also very important. We look at some of the international certifications and compliance, things like ISO, there are various tiers. So there's here 27001, there's NIST, there's, all those. We look at how can you be able to be compliant. So if you go now to the ODPC, the Office of the Data Protection Commission, they have set in place policies that organizations must comply with. They have told banks that you must secure your customer data to this extent. These are the things, these are the policies or the steps that you must take. This is the level to which you need to get in terms of your infrastructure, in terms of your human capacity and all that, right? And in terms of the solutions that you deploy to secure your environment and secure your people. So all those policies, all those compliance and regulation requirements, you learn about them here. We look at what matters for you as a Kenyan person, what matters within the African context, what matters within the global context. So as Kenya, we have, of course, our offices here. We have our government that guides us. So then how do you comply with them? As Africa, we have regional units like the AU. What policies do they have around that monitor cybersecurity? Globally, we have the UN and other related entities that monitor cybersecurity and ICT across the globe. So what policies do they have? You have to ensure that you comply all the way from the country level, comply to the continental level, and comply to the global level, so that you're secure. Because at the end of the day, Kenya as a country, we're independent, yes, but we also comply and align with some of the global resolutions and requirements. So that is what we look at here. This is a very important bit of the program. After that, we look at ethical hacking and offensive security. A lot of us want to be ethical hackers. So how exactly do you do that? How do you perform passive and active reconnaissance? How do you perform OSI? And how do you do vulnerability scanning? Vulnerability scanning is being able to examine organization, organization, sorry, and to be able to see where they are in terms of being vulnerable. Being vulnerable is the level of risk. So how exposed are they? what do they need to do? So first of all, you do the scanning, you'll be able to examine and know this is where these people are. These are the risks and the gaps that are there. Then these are the recommendations. This is what they can do to be able to bridge those gaps. So when you go to a place like a penetration tester or a VAPT professional, those are some of the things you'd want to do. You'd want to examine, for example, the bank, look at where they are. Are there gaps? Yes, there's one, two, three gaps. Are there areas they're strong in? Yes, there are. So these gaps are here. Then what exactly are they supposed to do? Deploy one, two, three solutions, tighten these policies, do this and that. And then, of course, you give them the roadmap. How can they do these things in a manner that is manageable and is realistic to them in terms of their policies, in terms of their budget, and in terms of their time allowance? All those are things you would want to look at to be able to be that professional that is desired by organizations. I don't know if I need to proceed. Yeah, there are those. Um, then, of course, email security. I'll just go over this very quickly. We are winding up already. So email security is ensuring that your emails or the users are secure, all right? So that people don't trick you using your emails. Remember, reports show that over 80% of attacks these days happen because of the human, they are human related. So the challenges we have as people are what leads to some of these attacks. So then it means that we are the greatest link in terms of cybersecurity. All right. Somebody will send you a link to your email or to your WhatsApp or to your Facebook, and you click it. Because of the tools, the advanced tools they're using, they're also monitoring you. They're able to know that you've keyed in your passwords, your pins, and so on. So then they use them to access your accounts, access your data, access the systems, and so on. All right. So securing your emails, of course, that is one thing that is very important. And I think even for all of us as individuals, even Gmail that we typically use, most of us, they have some basic level of security so that it is only you that is supposed to access them. And if somebody else accesses them, then it means they have gotten access to certain information which probably they shouldn't have gotten access to. So there's that. We look at social engineering, we look at SOC operations, XDR and EDR, as well as defensive security. So SOC in full is Security Operations Center. So Security Operations Center, sorry. Security Operations Center is the level at which, or the setup at which organizations monitor the environment and respond and remediate on possible attacks. So you go into some of your circles or banks or even government entities, you'll find they have a room where they have screens. So these screens, they're doing the monitoring. They're seeing what is going on. People who are accessing the systems, what operations are going around. Are there threats? Are there things that are down, systems that are down? That is what basically SOC is. So SOC and SIM goes hand in hand. SIM is security information and event management. It also helps hand in hand to be able to monitor and give you visibility over your ecosystem. So we'll get deeper into that during the program. Then, of course, we have EDR and XDR. EDR is endpoint detection and response. These are tools or security tools that protect your endpoint tools. So endpoints are like your laptops, your phones, your PCs, all those devices. They're the endpoint, right? They're the endpoint devices. Then we have XDR, that is extended detection and response. So these are a little bit higher than EDR. So we look at all that. Then, of course, we look at network defense, which you covered a bit. We look at incident response. So if something has happened, then what happens? What are you supposed to do? Somebody has tried to intrude your systems, and they've gotten in. So then what are you supposed to do? You've gotten the alert that so and so is here or this and that is happening. What exactly are you supposed to do? How do you contain it? How do you respond? How do you continue securing that entity? Then we look at a red team versus blue team simulation. Very important. we look at cloud security and enterprise security engineering. So cloud, right now, a lot of people are going to the cloud. Government entities, a lot of them, private entities especially, they're moving to the cloud. So cloud is, they're running away from the on-prem um, bit where you have to host, a whole data center. It is usually very expensive. You host everything on-prem and there's all that. So they're moving to the cloud because it is scalable, it is cheap, there's a lot of flexibility in there, and it just gives you peace of mind somehow in comparison to the on-prem options that we've had for a long while. So there's that. We look at cloud security. So once the organization has moved to the cloud, they've deployed cloud solutions. So let's say they've deployed a cloud solution that secures your network. How do you ensure that that cloud solution which was deployed is still secure to your organization? All right. Because again, cloud is good, yes, but it also still has its own weak points. There are those areas that you still need to look at to be able to ensure that you are secure. You need to look at how, the infrastructure of your cloud service provider and all that. So we'll teach you all that practically. We'll look at also advanced cloud security. So that program takes you from the beginner level to the advanced level. We look at privilege access tools and enterprise security tools, of course, all those bits. Yes, quite an elaborate program. So this is at week 2, we will be looking at career and certification alignment. So for you to be employed for you to be recognized as a cybersecurity professional, there are those certifications that you need to have. Let's say you get trained by Database Africa. Of course, your certificate will showcase that Levick Studio has been trained by Database Africa as a cybersecurity and ethical hacking professional and is able to do ABCD. So that certificate will verify or give confidence to your employer or to your partner that I have been trained and I'm skilled in 1 to 3. So therefore, I'm capable of doing this and that. And of course, for recognition and for being able to compete globally, there are also these global certifications. Some of them you may have heard about them. There's CompTIA, very popular. There's CAH, there's CISA, there's CISSP. There's a lot of them. A lot of them. So as an organization, there are those that we have singled out, which we know are very important. Those that when you present to an employer and tell them, I'm certified with the CompTIA security or this and that, they know that this person is good. Because for you even to pass these exams, definitely, you must have gone through some rigorous training and you must have also been very dedicated. So there's all that bit of certification. Then there's a capstone project as usual that helps us to summarize everything. So I've taken you through them very quickly in terms of the major courses, that is data science, analytics, and business intelligence, data engineering, then now cybersecurity and ethical hacking. Ooh, I think that's okay. I don't know if anybody got anything from those bits that I've so far shared. Uh, can we probably hear from somebody? Or if you have a question, it's open, you can ask. I know I was a bit fast, but
Hello, Levis.
yes. Hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm fine. I think you've covered most of the topics very well. There was a good insight in all of the brief that you have given from the data science, the cybersecurity, and so on. So, okay, my question is about cybersecurity mostly.
Yeah.
Like generally, all the programs, how are they aligned? Are they being offered at the same time or periodically after this course? Maybe let's say this is data science that is being offered in this period, then maybe the next slot will be for cybersecurity, something of that sort. Or how have you programmed most of the courses?
All right. Thanks for that question. The programs are most of them run concurrently. So, but we have various intakes. So, like now we closed intakes for the February intakes for the various programs. They're already, doing their trainings in data science, analytics, business intelligence, and soft skills. They're doing data engineering. They're doing cybersecurity and the likes. Then after that intake, then we have another intake. Like right now, we are enrolling for the May 2026 intake. While the rest are already learning. So most of them, we enroll for them around the same time. So like these ones will start between 19th and 22nd of May. Most of them will have started. So they have like one day apart. So it means it may be difficult to take both of them at the same time, especially those that occur at the same time in the evening. So that is how they are arranged. You can, if somebody wants to do two, so unless you do the day option, or you do one course in the day option and another course in the evening option. I don't know if that answers your question, Silas.
Yeah, sure. Okay. The reason why I asked that is because I was trying to compare the data science and the data engineering part, because that engineering is like a high level point of data science, because the guys who maybe have begun data science to some level, because I believe these are mostly beginners and so on, to some level after their skilled, they might want to measure to the data engineering part, because it is like a high level part within the data field. That is why I was asking of the same.
Okay. I get you. I get you. Yeah, so like you complete the data science program and then you also advance into data engineering.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that's possible. I know these are also some of them are very engaging programs. So usually we will advise somebody to undertake one and then you take the next one so that you have time to do your things, you have time to study and practice and absorb whatever it is you're learning. So yeah, and these programs, they don't take a lot of time. Most of them take just 6 months, and then you're done. You can move into the next one. But of course, that if somebody is still able to manage both, well and good, there are those options. But yeah, these programs are also, you know, they are designed also to support people that have, let's say, zero knowledge or beginners. So these courses take you from the level of zero knowledge to advanced, and you're able to get to a point that you actually match the modern industries. Any other question or addition? Yeah, maybe we can hear which areas. I know you guys fill the form, but you can hear what you guys are looking at in terms of pursuing which field are you looking at? Is it data? Is it AI? Is it cybersecurity? I also didn't go through the AI bit, but yes, we also have the course in artificial intelligence as a standalone course. And then, of course, many of our programs also have cybersecurity, or rather, artificial intelligence units embedded in them. Ronald Mbaje is asking, what are the charges for data analysis? All right, thanks for the question. So the data science and analytics program, let me see if I can get that bit. I hope my screen has shifted on your side. Can you see my new screen? Yeah, another tab.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, we can see it.
Yeah. So these are the courses I was mentioning. We have artificial intelligence, we have data science, analytics, and business intelligence, we have data engineering, we have cybersecurity and ethical hacking, then we have AI coding and cybersecurity for kids. So this one is designed for kids. So therefore, parents who are here, if you want your kids also to be able to get into tech early enough, it is not advanced, it is designed for them, just as we call it kids. So it is very friendly to them. It is also very ethical and will help them to get elevated. So there's that, and then of course there's corporate training, which I'll get into later. So you asked about the, if I'm not wrong, the data science analytics course. You asked the data analysis. So we've we've put together these programs because um, this one gives you a touch of both, and not just a touch, but a deep dive into both data science, data analytics, and business intelligence. So the reason for that is to be able to, because these are very closely related professions. A data scientist, to an extension, is also a data analyst. So if you find somebody calling themselves a data scientist, there are more than 70% chances that they can also perform the analyst's roles because the tools they use, the processes they use are very closely related. Data science is, of course, a bit, more advanced because it has a lot of other things, including machine learning and intro to AI, but pretty much they're related. Then now data engineering, just like Sellers was saying, is now a bit more advanced and focuses on some, more specialized areas. So this program is it goes for 40,000 Kenya shillings. It's a 6-month program, uh, equivalent to 315 USD. And of course, yeah, we have already a program that a class that started the other week, if I'm not wrong, started on around that was 10th of February. So they're just a few days into that. They're just like 2 weeks or 3 weeks into the program. But we have, of course, another intake starting in May 20th. The cost is 40,000 Kenya shillings, equivalent to 315 US dollars. I don't know if that answers your question. That was the gentleman was called. I don't know if that answers your question.
Yes,
Yeah,
that answered
Ronald
my
is.
question. Thank you.
Okay. Are you looking at taking data science or rather data analytics? Is it like you want to get totally new into this bit, or you are just upskilling perhaps?
I'm looking to do data analysis. So if here we call it data science, that one is well and good.
Yeah. Okay. That's good. Just to clarify again, data analysis is a branch of data science, essentially. Because if you look at even the tool stack of data science, a lot of what is in the data analytics bit still is on the data science. So data analysis falls within data science. It is a branch of data science, ideally. So that's why I was saying that a data scientist, for example, in most cases is 70% or even more of a data analyst. He can perform 70% of the roles of a data analyst, you know. But a data analyst may not be able, in some cases, to perform the roles of a data scientist. I don't know if that makes sense or it is clear in any way. So if you want, um, of course, this program has both data science, analytics, and business intelligence. So as I've already gone through the curriculum, it covers all this very extensively, and it gives you also the room to even explore other deeper areas in data. It gives you broader capacity to be able to do more and perform more on your role. So I think this would definitely be the right program for you, Ronald, um, to upscale. Any other question, perhaps? Or anything to add, something you would want to know about DataBrid Africa and our programs and so on?
It's okay. It's okay.
All right, thank you, thank you. Somebody else? Yeah, Lillian is asking data engineering is in data science. Not really, but they're closely related because these are both data related roles. Some of the tools you will be learning, as I shared in the course outline, some of the tools are similar. Let's look at something like SQL. I hope you can hear me, Lillian. Lillian, you can hear me? I know you're the one who was there. Okay, thank you. So I was saying these are very related roles or professions. You're basically working with data. You're working with data, you're working with data systems, um, ideally. So data science is a cousin to data engineering. Data engineering is just focusing on the pipelines and all that kind of thing. But they're the same, yes, but they're not the same at the same time. Yeah, so data engineering is, as a data engineer, you are a full professional in your own right. As a data scientist, you're a professional in your own right. As a data analyst, the same. So these are all different professions. But the good thing is, if you're a data engineer and you see a data scientist role, it is very okay for you to apply for that role because the skill set of the requirements more or less are very close. You'll find a 50, 60, 70 correlation or sharing. So that's what I was saying. I was telling Ronald that these programs give you quite some room to be able to apply or take part in different, you know, to undertake different roles. You can be a data scientist, data engineer, and the likes, very, very, very efficiently. Yeah, Edward Santos is asking, does cybersecurity also go for 6 months? Yes, yes, the cybersecurity also goes for 6 months. Um, yes, it also goes for 6 months. Normally, these intense programs, we want them to be at least 6 months to give you the time to learn and get into the program. This is tech. Some people may not be so advanced, so we want to ensure that if you're new in tech, if you're just starting up in technology, whether it is in AI, whether it is in data, whether it is in cybersecurity, you have enough time to learn and be trained practically. You have enough time to know what is going on in the industries because you're also trained by people working in the industries. Then, of course, you have the picture of you find a room to be able to position yourself well. So 6 months for a tech program is usually enough time for you to learn and be good at what you're doing. So I hope that question is answered. Any other question, feel free to text on the chat box. Steve Omolo, how are you? Did you get anything? Hello? Steve Omolo, Bimak Kirui. So I hope, Lillian, that answers your question. I think you had asked that question. And Lillian and Edward Santos about cybersecurity and data engineering. Are your questions answered?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Lillian, you're good?
Yes. Well, confused about what to do, but I kind of get it.
Okay, what do you do currently? If you don't mind, which field are you? So that we see where you're coming from and advice.
Math,
Sorry?
mathematician.
Oh, you're a mathematician.
Mm,
Then these things will not scare you, I'm sure, if you're a mathematician, because I know that is the bit that scares people at times.
yeah.
Yeah, but also depends on what you want to achieve. I think if you want to deal with the data pipelines and the hardcore bit of things, you can do data engineering. But if you want to
Okay.
do if you want to do data science, matters machine learning, matters data analysis, matters AI, then data science is definitely a better option.
Okay. More
So yes,
opportunities are more opportunities are presented in engineering or in data science.
I'd say they go closely, but data science has more opportunities from what I'm seeing. I mean, that this is not verified, but from what I see in terms of hiring data scientists, are quite on the high demand. But also lately, I've seen a lot of entities hiring for data engineers. So yeah, but data
Because in
science,
data
yes,
engineering, you're designing the system, right? And
yes,
data science, you're using the system and analyzing the results from the system.
exactly,
Okay.
exactly. So I think generally I would say there are more roles in data science than in data engineering. But what I know
Okay.
is organizations are
Yeah.
continuously wanting to make sense of data. So they would want more data engineers to work on the pipelines and the ecosystem. And of course, data scientists to be able to help them analyze data and make sense of those data.
Now, in data engineering, what facets are not in data science? It's just the designing of the system?
Yeah, pretty much. You see, data engineering is more on the pipelines
Okay.
and the infrastructure and the ecosystem. So
Uh,
the data engineering person is the person who does the hard part on the behind the scenes. They set up systems so that they enable the data scientists and the data analysts to perform their roles. They clean up the systems, they ensure everything is running efficiently. They give you a system that you can work on, you know?
okay. Okay.
Yeah, so the data scientist basically, right now you'll find organizations even mixing the two because maybe
Okay.
budget constraints or they just want to save on money. So you find that
Okay.
somebody is a data scientist employed, but they're also doing a bit of data engineering. They're having to work on the pipelines and all that. And I think those are some of the discussions we're having around that
Yeah.
entities are
But then,
hiring.
my
Mm,
question would be, a
yes.
software engineer can work with a
Mhm.
data scientist to design the system.
Yeah. They can, yeah. There are few software engineering, there are a few things they share in common in terms of skill set, but not 100%.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, they can work together to be able to design, the
Okay.
systems.
Cool. Cool. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, just another question.
Yes, Ronald.
Hello.
Yes, Ronald,
Uh,
you can hear you.
yes. Let me say if one have managed to pay the 40K, is
Mhm.
there other charges, the additional cost?
No, the 40K is everything for the program. That includes training, examination, um, the whole program. I don't think there's really not extra charges. That is the whole program. So from the first point to the last point.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, so yeah. Any other question or something to add from the audience? Yeah, let's hear from the rest of us if you've picked anything or there's any bit you want clarity on, or you're probably also an industry professional, you want to share something. You're free to do that before we close. Little bit Africa. I'm also dropping a link on the chats so that you can stay updated on our programs if you wish. And I'll also drop for those that want to, I've seen a few direct messages. For those that want to be able to join the programs, you can definitely sign up. So as I mentioned, we have the May intake already ongoing. So I'm sure you'd want to sign up in time. If you want to start paying in advance, you can pay. And also the programs, the payments, we have payment plans. So you don't have to pay the 40K, for example, um, at once as you start. So the data science program is 40K, data engineering is also 40K, cybersecurity and ethical hacking is 52K here. The other one is what? AI, there's 10K and then there's another one for 40K. So for 40K, so there are those variations. But of course, as I've mentioned, we have the payment plans where you can pay on installments. So there's no pressure about that. Anything else that you need us to help you with? I've just dropped a quick Edward. Okay. Yeah, Edward, you can be able to. I know, Edward, you're already doing the data science, analytics, and business intelligence program. So you can be able to finish up on the current program and then you join the next program at a discount. So yeah, you will not pay the whole amount if you're already graduating from one program to the next. Actually, that's something I forgot to mention. If you have graduated from us with the program, so the next program you only pay 50%. So if, for example, Edward is now doing the data science, analytics, business intelligence, and soft skills course, as soon as he's done, when he wants to join the next program, instead of paying the 52,000 for cybersecurity and ethical hacking, he will pay 26. So he has a 50% off to join the next program. So there is that advantage that you guys can take up. You can join a program, then of course, if you want to, just like I think that was Lillian, if I'm not wrong, or Ronald. So if you want to do like data, you can do data science, then you can still explore areas in data engineering. These are related things, and the better you are at them, the more valuable at the end of the day. And of course, you have a broader scope of opportunities. You have a broader scope of opportunities to feed from. So yeah, there's that option. I've shared our LinkedIn account on the chats, and I'm also sharing. You can just click onto it and follow the channel if you want to get updated on what we do. As I mentioned already, we have partners around both in the public and private sector entities, and you'll be able to see what we do in terms of partnerships and driving our programs and our value across various markets. I've also shared my number on the chats. Feel free to reach out if you need any further assistance or clarification, or even onboarding, or even if you just need to understand these professions at a closer range. If we have a conversation with you closely, we will also understand where you are as a person. Remember, before you enroll for these programs, normally we advise that you get to understand exactly where you are. We analyze and see what you want to achieve, and then we advise you on what is best for you. Not just enrolling for the sake of enrolling, but of course, advising you to be able to pick up this and that. Except when you already have decided that I'm taking this course, then that way we have no problem. But if you are unsure, then of course we always give you the services to the courtesy to just share with you more details about those particular programs so that you have the freedom to choose. So I've dropped my number on the charts. Feel free to drop me a text or give me a call. Yeah, Ronald, I can see you're requesting. I've already dropped it. Let me just paste it again. Okay, this is the LinkedIn. For me. So I've dropped it into the charts, but you can still have reshared. So you can reach out to me kindly. Drop me a text or give me a call. We can be able to find a solution for you to be able to get training. As I said, our trainings are very practical, are very industry aligned. And of course, our certification is recognized across, and it gives you that upper hand to be able to, secure opportunities here and there. We've seen a lot of our people bag opportunities, people increase their salaries, people get promoted here and there. because they have upskilled, first of all, you must have the skill. Then, of course, number two, it's good to have the certification that showcases you are skilled in ABCD. But of course, you must first have the skill to be able to do those things. So we are keen on being skilled. We are keen on you being technically fit to perform these roles. Sandra Elavana, how are you doing? Hatujasikia sauti yako hata kidogo. Sandra Elavana, if you can hear me.
Yeah, you're okay.
All right, you're good. Anything you are looking forward to before the call and you've gotten it, or anything you feel you've left out that you had looked forward to? Hello, Sandra, anything? Or Geoffrey Kimani? Have we answered your questions? Have we met your expectations for the night, or anything you feel you've left out you need us to cover? All right, somebody's asking, I can see a message. Is the course online or physical? So we have hybrid. So the intake that we had for February was 100% online in terms of delivery, but the intake for May is hybrid. So you can learn from wherever you are, but if you're around, you can still be able to come for physical sessions. So you have that choice. So if you're somebody who is busy and you're at work, you have not much time, then the online version is much better for you. It's also very flexible. The evening version happens from 7:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. So you have that room to do your things in the day, and then you come up in the evening to do the classes. These classes are 3 days a week for most of the programs. That is Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So that might be a line. The days might be redistributed if need be, but usually they're Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday for the week. So you only have 3 days. That is 6 hours a week to be able to do your training extensively. And of course, you have access to the trainer all through. So there is help. You can still be able to, even if you're doing online, like those who are doing online now, you can still get help from the trainers. Any other question? Just unmute and speak or chat up. I know we'll have. Then also, before I forget, we have another session. We are partners with the ICT Authority. We offer trainings on their behalf on subjects like data science, data analytics, cybersecurity, and AI. So we've done a couple of that. And next week, is it next week? No. The other week, the week of 10th. So 10, 11, 12. We have 3 days of training on data science, analytics, and business intelligence. So if you want to be trained, I know it is not enough time to make you from zero to advanced data scientist or data analyst or business intelligence professional, but it can get you from a point to the other. Or if you're already in these fields and you want to, clean up a few areas within your skill set, you want to tighten some areas, then of course that is for you. You can be able to join. It's also those who are there for the last program, you are at the end of it, you're certified both by DataBrid Africa and ICT Authority. So the certificate is one with both our badges and both our brands. So there is that. You can use that certificate anywhere. You can be able to use it to get opportunities in various places because it is recognized both in the public sector, private sector, NGO space, and the likes. All right, Ronald, you're saying that's wonderful. Let me work for, okay. Yeah, that's fine. Just organize yourself. You can be able to join the May group. It's not far. So you can still be able to enroll and even pay the initial fee, in installments so that by that time you don't have pressure. You can pay 1K, 2K, 3K, 5K until you get to the minimum amount, which is 10,000. Yeah, between now and then. So there's that room. I don't know if there's anything else. Anybody else with some question or something to add before we close? The rest of us who may have not spoken, I don't know if we helped you out in any way. Mercy, how are you? Mercy, if you can hear me, we can probably hear your voice. Um, yeah, are you sorted? Are you good? Mike Okoth, are you good as well? Let me see. I don't know if there's anything I left. Yeah, so maybe as we wind up, maybe somebody would be asking themselves, why would they sign up for any of these programs? Of course, apart from the advantages that I've already mentioned and even the elaborate and practical course outlines that I've shared with you, we are, of course, very industry aligned, being that we have partners across the sectors, which give us the picture of what is needed in these industries. That is what informs our curriculum. Then we are project-based, so we ensure that you have enough projects within your course time to be able to support your job applications and, of course, to enhance your practical bit of training. And then some of our programs have internships attached to them, like the data science, analytics, and business intelligence program that we're having now has an internship. So you train for 4 months and then you get internship for 2 months. So I'm sure that is something that many people would be looking forward to. Then, of course, we have a partner environment, as I've mentioned. So we are able to give you that opportunity to learn and see how things work. And yeah, I think that brings us to the end. I've covered pretty much most of what I intended to cover. So unless there's anything somebody wants to know, we are happy to listen before we close at 9. We only have a minute. Yeah, I've shared my contacts on the chat box. If you feel, I can see some of you have chatted me on WhatsApp. So feel free to reach out. I'll just drop the contact again. I'll just drop the contact again so that you can reach out. So 0792 59 66 00. That's my number. You can reach out. 0792 59 66 00. Can reach out on that. The company number is 0743 279 990. That is the company number. So either of them can work. If you want to reach out directly, reach me on the 92. If you want to reach out to the company, reach out on 43 27 990, DataBreed Africa. If you have any questions as well, you want to do an email, I've shared the email there, info@databreedafrica.com. And of course, you could as well use my direct email is dudi@databreedafrica.com. Yeah, dudi@databreedafrica.com. So yeah, you could use any of those to reach us out. I've also dropped our LinkedIn page there. We normally post a lot online. We also have a channel. You'll reach out if you need to join any of them so that you're up to date with what we're doing, whatever free opportunities we have. like the one for 10th to 12th of March, it is free. It is not paid for. So that is an opportunity that you would want to take advantage of. So reach out. We'll share more details about it. We'll share with you the link on how to register if you're interested, and of course, the rest of the programs and even the events we are having that are coming up next week and the course of the next month and the quarter. Yeah, I think that's all. If there's no other question or anything to add, allow me to thank you guys for showing up. I know it's Friday.
I have a question.
Yes, proceed.
How do we pay? Either a pay bill or?
Yeah, we have a pay bill and let me just share it. Pay bill and bank transfer.
Okay.
Let me just paste it here as well. Okay. So you can pay on the pay bill, depends on what option works best. Pay bill is on M-Pesa, and then the other one is direct bank transfer. So once you pay, you just reach out to us also so that we ensure that we know that this is money belonging to so and so. And of course, we allocate that funds to your account. Sometimes parents or guardians pay, or even sponsors and employers. So you share with us so that we allocate that money to you. We create for you. We help you with the onboarding and all that. Yes?
Did you get to share? Because I don't see anything.
Oh, just a second. I was trying to get it somewhere.
Oh, okay.
I'm just getting it here already. Anybody with any other question, you're free to ask. Don't be left out. This was basically an information session. We are trying to.
What time do we reach you? Can we reach you anytime, or we have specific time to reach you?
Yeah, you can reach me. Well, at times I may be asleep or I may be busy, but anytime in terms of text, you can reach me anytime. If
Okay.
I'm not able to respond, I'll respond at the nearest opportunity. You can call me also anytime in the day or in the night, probably up to 10 p.m. latest. Yeah. But if you don't find me on call, just drop me a text. I'll be able to reach out. I'll get back.
Okay.
Yes, I've dropped the account numbers, the pay bill. Do you want a Kenya shilling account or a USD? I've not added the USD here. Let me see if I can see it around. So for those who are paying in USD or are paying from outside the country, you can pay using the USD account, usually very easy.
I don't see anything. I don't see pay bill. I don't see anything on the chat.
Yeah, I just put it on hold so that I add the USD option. So this one, the account number, this one is Kenya shilling. Option. Just a second, Lilian, it's already here. Then USD is 580. 81 0580 5781 771250 771250.
You should include this information in your slide.
Yeah. I'll share it. I'll actually do an email to you guys so that anybody who wants to pay up can do so. I'll share this with you even, but I've dropped it. Can you see it now?
Yes. I can see. I saw. I just need to take a screenshot.
All right.
Thank you so much.
You're most welcome. You can DM me directly. I can be able to share more information.
Cool.
Yes,
But this is helpful. Yeah, this is helpful.
all right. Right. I think that should bring us to the end. Or anybody else? Before we go relax for the weekend. Yeah, that should bring us to the end. I appreciate you guys for staying through and for sparing time tonight to listen to what we do. And of course, for your questions and the insights, we appreciate. For more information, feel free to, check out our website. It has a lot of information, including the cost of the programs we offer, our partners, our corporate training, our events, and all those things. They are in the website, databreedafrica.com. So check us out. If you are a social media person, we are present in all the popular social media platforms around, from LinkedIn to X, that is from a Twitter to Facebook to Instagram to TikTok. And of course, we even have a YouTube account. So ensure you have at least one or two of those so that you get informed on what is going on around our programs and our events and even our partners. Yeah, asanteni sana. Enjoy your night and enjoy your weekend.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye.